Hello, 7th and 12th, 7th through 12th graders. How are you doing? How are my middle schoolers and high schools doing? Schoolers doing right now? Hope all is well and everything is going pretty good and you're adjusting to this new year. We are going to start off with a new social emotional learning indicator this week, and it's on relationship skills. And this, I know that this is like really big in our middle school and high school area. So, want to take some time over the next couple of weeks to talk about communication skills, social engagement, relationship building, and teamwork. So today we're going to start with communication, but before we do that, I just want to take a couple deep breaths in. Sorry, my light just clicked off. So deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. One more time. In and out. So I have these automatic lights in here that when I don't necessarily move around my office too long, they kind of cut off. So apologize for that. But I want to take a few minutes to do a check in as always. And we're going to use our scale from 1 to 10, with a 1 being really good and 10 being, I'm in a mood. So I'm going to be completely honest today. And I am going to say I'm about at a 6, at a 6. Things have been a little crazy this morning. My computer was down. It wasn't working right. And now we have lights flickering off. So I hope you can still see me. I'm not trying to necessarily get up and go and turn it back on while I'm recording. But I'm just breathing through it and making my way through it. So just take a minute and look and see exactly where you are on our scale. A few minutes, a couple seconds, should I say. All right, deep breath in and out. So, again, we're going to start with communication. So, what is communication? Communication is um, basically receiving and giving information. Um, it's that exchange, that give and take, however you are allowing information to be given to somebody else. That is a form of communication. So, like always, we're going to start with a video to kind of help guide us through a little more of what is communication.
What is communication? Communication is the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. It is about imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. In our generation today, we have a lot of ways on how to communicate with other people. We have technology that we are using in our everyday lives. Every day we talk, we listen, we chat, and we read letters which forms words that may create an impact on each one of us. Now let's talk about the forms of communication. First thing is the most common of all, verbal communication, which includes sounds, words, language and speaking. There are many languages spoken in the world, and there are a lot of ways as well for us to understand each other. You come across people from various ages, cultures and races. Not fluent? No problem. In communication, self-confidence plays a vital role which when clubbed with fluent communication skills can lead to success. The second form of communication is the non-verbal communication. It involves physical ways of communication like tone of the voice, touch,
Mhm.
smell, and body motion. Body language is a non-verbal way of communication. Body posture and physical contact convey a lot of information. Physical contact like shaking hands, pushing, patting and touching expresses the feeling of intimacy. Facial expressions, gestures and eye contact are all different ways of communication. Reading facial expressions can help you know a person better. The third form of communication is the written communication. Written communication is the writing or composing of words which you want to communicate. Good written communication is essential for business purposes. It is also practiced in many different languages. Emails, reports, articles, and mobile SMS are some of the examples of informal written communication. In addition, the fourth form of communication is the visual communication. It is a visual presentation of information like photography, signs, typography, symbols, and designs. Television and video clips are the electronic form of visual communication. Visual communication is somehow similar to nonverbal communication, but visual communication involves more onto sight. What are the effective ways for communication? Be direct to the point with your message. Don't use complicated sentences and words. Be free to express yourself. Don't be afraid to express what you feel, but still using nice intonation and respectful words. Use visuals to add further meaning to your message. Be focused when delivering your ideas. Don't get distracted when conveying your message. Be not a speaker alone, but also a listener. Remember, communication is a two-way process and that both parties must be able to convey and receive the message. Now imagine our world without communication. Do you think everything will still be the same? Live your life while you can. Be one of the healthiest person you know. Express your thoughts, inspire others. Have confidence, and let the world know what you have in mind.
So that kind of explained some forms of communication. I think it's important at your where you guys are to know that a large part of the communication that we have with each other is nonverbal. It's reading those nonverbal cues of how people are sitting, like maybe with their arms crossed, or they're sitting like, or kind of dazed and confused. That kind of tells you oftentimes if a person is open to having a dialogue with you, if they're not, or if it's going to be a happy time. Like if they're like smiling at you, you know that they're able to be approached. So learning how to read those nonverbal cues is very important, especially at your age. Also, another thing to point out is that when we're communicating, especially verbally, that talking and communicating, it's very important to make sure that you listen, use the active listening while someone is talking to you, and then wait for there to be silence for you to answer. Interrupting causes a lot of feelings of, oh, I don't even want to talk to this person anymore. Or somebody gets mad. You start reading those nonverbal cues of this person is getting upset with me and I'm not sure. So using active listening. So what I want you to do for this week is I want you to really pay attention to all of the ways that you communicate with others. So I have this sheet, and you guys can create your sheet like however you want to, because I kind of added some parts to mine. Like there was on here um, facial expression, body language, cell phone, talking on the cell phone, texting on the cell phone, um, letters. What else do we have on here? Face to face. We have how many times have you touched someone? Um, how many times have you emailed or faxed someone or, um, got in their personal space? So I want you to just take a piece of paper and I want you to write down these nonverbal and verbal ways of communicating. Again, facial expression, body language, cell phone, talking on it and texting, use of computers, your face to face interactions with everybody, email. I want you to write them down and keep track of how many times you communicated throughout the day, throughout the week. And then I want you to go back and kind of think about what were those things that were nonverbal in our communication and verbal in our communication. And the reason why we're doing communication first is because we have to know how to appropriately communicate in order to build positive and effective relationships with others. Okay. So let's take a deep breath in and out. And I kind of want to end today with just a mindful moment. I'm going to read this and then I'm going to ask a question about it for you to think about. Mindfulness reminds us that any separation in life is artificial. Work life, home life, social life, there's just life all around us. This here and now. What brings you joy in this life? So, when we're thinking about mindfulness, what brings you joy in this life? So, take some time this week and consider what brings you joy, and then looking at how we communicate non-verbally and verbally. And I will see you next week. And as always, if no one has told you I love you, I do, and I always will. See you later, middle school, high school,